is Who the is Frank? We are back. Of course, we are live on YouTube. One of Us Comics. Go Live Vegas, both on YouTube, TikTok, and
was that whole thing live on Facebook? Because that would be bonkers if it was. That was 1 hour of mic checks.
Now you're going to make me reset the top. So now let's go. We got to redo the top, Aaron. Here we go. Because fucking Brendan thinks that he... Okay. So stop here. This is a stop point where you will cut it. No,
Mark.
I know. Well, guess what? You're editing now. Thanks, Brendan.
Are we editing? I think we should leave it in.
We are now
because
you just Brendaned it. Okay, here we go, guys.
That's good content.
Oh, yeah, we are back. It is Who the Fuck is Frank here on the One of Us Comics YouTube channel, as well as on the Go Live Vegas YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Also, where you consume your content on Spotify and more. Make sure you check us out each and every week. My name is Steve Johnston, the current toy expert on History's Pawn Stars, owner of One of Us Comics in Henderson, Nevada. To my right, Mr. Brett Lawson, student of the Game Day Huddle, is here live and in person. To my left, an empty chair. Johnny Jimenez is off in Mexico for an event this week, and he was not able to be back in time. We will catch him on the flip side next week. Mr. Brendan Allen from ComicCon.com, senior editor, joins us, and Mr. Paul Vato joins us from the Witness Protection Program somewhere. They move him all over the nation, never in the same place, and you can tell that all they do is stress the guy out because he looks like that North Korean dictator every time we get him on. So
he's that North Korean dictator.
Yeah, that North Korean
won't drop
dictator.
His name here,
right? That would require us to try.
Right.
And then Aaron, the producer's in the building as well. Ellen Ellerkiss with Go Live Vegas. If you need something produced done, he can take care of you guys. But again, thank you for checking in. Who the is Frank? And we're going to kick things off today with Mr. Paul Vato from an undisclosed location. Paul, where are you now?
I'm still in the Chicagoland area, so but I can't tell you exactly where. But I will be staying a little bit longer. Unfortunately, my mom had a surgery, so I am playing Nurse Vato, and but I can't say exactly where we're at. But I'm going between Chicago itself and the suburbs. I do prefer Chicago itself. It's so much better in the Gulf Coast. Or as I like to call it, the Viagra Triangle. A lot of oldsters with ED taking Viagra. So I'm having a good time. I'm one of the younger people there, so it's amazing.
The Witness Protection Program, but it sounds like he's using a voice changer because his connection
for sure.
is so
He
bad.
did. He's got a voice changer. They've changed his identity.
Yeah.
He's talking about that he might be in Illinois. He might not.
He said
for all
something
we
about
know.
Viagra. I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Well, that was just a pitch. See, the whole end part of that was actually
Illinois
sponsor. And speaking of Paul's sponsors, Paul, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Even off the grid.
I am enjoying their all the Sips Club. It's $14.99 a month, but you get your first 3 months free drinks at Panera. Of course, I always have the Kama Sutra, which is a brilliant book that I curated. Has all beautiful sex moves, especially for Pride. I would definitely pick up a copy. It is for both men and women and all the genders, of course. And then there is BottleCoin. Just go to bottlecoin.com. I have to have 500 unique wallets holding BottleCoin in order to get verified and sell it on Coinbase, which is the largest exchange, really. So even if you just want $1 for BottleCoin, you would be greatly helping me out. BottleCoin.com. How much more time do I have?
And then don't forget, guys, you'll also be able to follow Paul's OnlyFans, in which he'll be playing chess against one willing participant. And it should be a lot of fun. I mean, it sounds like an action-packed OnlyFans. I can't wait to watch Paul play chess by himself.
Yeah. And where we are in 2025, OnlyFans, don't get your mind out of the gutter. We use it for chess. Let's go.
Yeah, he's going to play chess with you, so you can get that there. But again, yeah, any of those things you can support with Paul, please do. Of course, Brendan, you've been up to a bunch of stuff there in Bakersfield. You've had a lot of things going on. Of course, you're deep dived into the baseball season. But, guys, Brendan just had a birthday.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Brendan turned 55. He looks great for 55, I'll tell you.
I think
Well
I do
done.
look very.
I thought Aaron was going to chime
I
something
did.
in there, but
I did get an AARP card in the mail, which kind of shocked me because I haven't cracked 50 yet. But I guess they send those things out when you turn 38 now. So I guess that's where we're at. That's society in a nutshell.
There it is. Do you do anything for your birthday? Anything special? What did you do with family?
You know, it's funny because I think people think that I'm a lot more outgoing than I really am. So I had a pretty perfect day of staying home with my 3 favorite people who live in my house, and I just had some hot wings, and I watched wrestling. There was a lot of wrestling on Saturday, and that was my day, and I loved it because I didn't have to do shit. That was it.
I loved his clarification of the 3 people in his house that
Right.
he loves.
don't get it twisted.
Because he wants to make sure he leaves just enough of an opening to make us think that he likes us, right? So
You guys are
totally
not the
fine,
3. Yeah,
right?
rest assured. You
He's
guys are
like,
not
you
the
know,
3.
these are the 3 that live with me that I care about. The other 3, though, are 4, or 3 in this case.
Eh.
Yeah. I mean, well, if he's counting Aaron 4, it just depends. Depends on what day of the week it is for him. But this weekend, I spent some time with the kid, and I went to Ninja Kids Live. I did, and I'll tell you what, if that's not for a 6-year-old, I don't know what is. My kid
Not
at
as a
10
target demo.
My kid at 10 after intermission was like, Dad, this is cool. This is awesome. We came. They do some cool stuff. But
get
yeah,
the hell
I'm good
out.
when you are. And
Let's bounce.
I was like, okay. No, it was cool and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, good lessons being taught. And it was fun to get out and do that with him. So we had a good time with
I like
that.
that Paul Balto showed up to do his commercials and then split.
Oh, he did. Yeah, absolutely. That's totally fine. That's Paul,
Yeah.
being Paul. It's very on brand.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Never know where he's going to be. Never know who's going to show up or leave. But no, and then Game Day Sports Cards opened a new location out in the Southwest here in Las Vegas. I was at the opening of it. It was a lot of fun. Good time. Tons of Pokemon rips. It was really cool to see that collector community coming about and really supporting and everything. And you love those events. I love seeing people when they first walk into a new store. Like seeing that, there's a little adrenaline to that. You like get that reaction from
There's a
people when they
buzz.
walk in and you see their eyes and they're trying to like see where things are. And it's cool. They've got the little like double basketball hoop that you can shoot in.
Right.
They've got a shuffleboard set up in there.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, it was really neat to see. I had a good time, and then we went and watched the fight Saturday night. And I took $400 from Durango Station Casino. Thank you
Love
very
it.
much, Durango. And that kind of wrapped up my weekend. What'd you get into, Brett?
Nah, similar on the sports front. Obviously, there's a ton of action on various fronts. As you said, MMA, big UFC card. You had the final leg of the Triple Crown. Incredible action at the Roland Garros, and obviously everything on the baseball front, the basketball, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup. I could go on and on, wax poetic. We just got done talking about it on our show, the Game Day Huddle. But again, yeah, some good betting action. Again, as Brendan said, a lot of, and we even discussed it on the show, plenty to talk about in the world of professional wrestling, WrestleMania returning, R-Truth returning. So whether it be scripted sports or sports as they are, there was plenty to talk about, which makes me excited for like shows like this because I'm only going to be around for so long today. But then you remember like there is so much that has happened on a week over the course of the past week and even this weekend that is outside the world of sports. So, you come in on Sunday night into Monday morning ready to do our show to talk about it all, even that stuff that kind of dives or delves outside of that in the pop culture, where here it's all pop culture, and then you realize it's a whole other wormhole. So
No, it
that's
is.
cool.
And I really wanted to touch base on the WWE thing.
Yeah.
So the fact that you brought that up. So obviously, this weekend, and Brendan, you also, alluded to the fact that you watched Money in the Bank, right? So you spent time on that. Obviously, the match that everybody wanted to see was the Cena-Cody Rhodes. And as far as the match went, I don't know. I'm a little lukewarm with it. I didn't feel like it was definitely not the best by either guy. R-Truth then comes out from the crowd, reveals himself with a mask.
Ron Killings comes out from the crowd.
Sorry, Ron Killings comes out. I did say Ron Killings before, but not here. But, he comes out and then, he takes Cena out and, makes his presence known.
Big
that
reveal.
He's back. Probably, as I said, I think it was a little too soon, a little
Right.
too quick. But what was your guys' take on the event this weekend? What you saw? What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you think it's setting up for?
I think ultimately the cool part about it is, and yeah, you could say it was a little fast, but I do like the fact that how anytime you could ask a question in an era where kayfabe is essentially dead and gone forever, anytime you could ask the question, is it a work or a shoe, it usually is good if the execution is good. Again, the match hasn't been great, but their match quality hasn't been particularly great on television since WrestleMania. Even WrestleMania itself, the match quality for that card wasn't outstanding, so to speak, but that's just kind of me being a stickler. What you ultimately want are the storylines and the narratives, and it seems like that had gone a little stagnant in the wake of WrestleMania. This is a good way to kind of refresh that. There's been this whole movement regarding R-Truth, or as Brendan said, Ron Killings, in terms of, if this is his final hurrah, how are they going to execute that? And if the whole package is including his release, whether it be fake or real, his return, spearing Cena, then, revealing himself, does it lead to some type of push regarding the title picture? If you could ask those questions in late May, early June, that tends to be a good thing, especially Money in the Bank. It wasn't necessarily their best card for what is a very big pay-per-view. Some may even say that's considered a big four pay-per-view, type of caliber event now. So wasn't a great show, wasn't a great match, but if you could end the show and now no one cares about the actual 3 hours itself and all we care about is that moment, that usually tends to work out.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Brendan? What did you see from the weekend?
Well, going back to the Ron Killings thing, it's 100% of work. And one of the things that I think is happening is, so R-Truth has been doing this comedy act. He came out in WWF as, back when it was WWF in the Attitude Era, and he was K-Quick. And then that wasn't really working. He went to TNA for a while, where he came out as Ron the Truth Killings, which is his real name. And then when they brought him back to WWF, they were still having him do this comedy bit, with little Jimmy and all that stuff. And it works. He can make anything work. He can make anything work. But the thing is, I think that what they're trying to do is what they should have done with John Cena is have just a more realistic take of who the person is, because I believe that Ron Killings is closer to R-Truth's personality than R-Truth, the comedy actor, is. And so I think that they're trying to get back to a little bit of that grittiness that he had in TNA, because it was really over. He's coming out, he's freestyling, and just had this really dark kind of aura about him that was very impressive. It was very formidable when he's coming down to the ring. And I feel like, the whole, hey guys, I'm gone, and then coming back with the hood on and stuff like that, it's really the way they should have treated the Cena heel turn. But they kind of dropped the ball on that. And I feel like they're using R-Truth, who can take anything and make it work. And they're taking what they should have done with Cena and making it work with a professional who can do it. Because I don't think Cena really has the chops to act angry all the time, because he's not an angry dude.
Yeah, and that's a great point. The reason the heel turn has seemed lackluster, is aside from the initial shock value of it happening, is because he's not dastardly enough. And even the whole thing with him, I want to ruin professional wrestling, I want to ruin this, I want to ruin that. There's not an element. He just doesn't seem sinister, right? Anything, he just seems like snobby and seems like he wants to kind of ruin everyone's time. But in order to really get over as a heel, we got to have to get the I don't want to say the vibe, because that's overused, but we just kind of have to get the overall feeling that you have an element of evil to you, even if it all ultimately is predetermined.
Right.
You have to make it seem like you can be a scumbag human being. I don't think John Cena can tap into that. And what Brendan said is a great point, because, Ron Killings was in the Invasion angle. He was in very prominent feuds in TNA, and he's a damn good worker in between the ropes. Right. The guy can go. We just haven't seen that, because much like Brendan just alluded to, it's been a comedy act. So if anything, it could be a renaissance for him, but also in the WWE's case, not even a renaissance, almost an unveiling, because there's a huge demographic who has never seen that side of him. So if you could do that to kind of, as Brendan also just said, to serve as damage control for what has happened in the Cena heel turn, they could really kind of luck into something that in the immediate aftermath of WrestleMania and Cody Rhodes and Travis Scott that they didn't really have.
Well, and me, I pay attention to the little aesthetics, and I look at how things line up, and I pay attention to it when I look at it from the business standpoint and how things work. So you had Cena out, a week, 2 ago, whatever, for one of the media things before Money in the Bank, and he's talking to the crowd, and he's talking back to the crowd, and he's like, we've had this event, we've had this event, we've had this event, and then he goes, in Las Vegas, Las Vegas, Las Vegas. And then today they announced that they're bringing WrestleMania back to Las Vegas for 2026. So we're actually going to return it back.
Yep.
And they don't tend to do that. It doesn't happen all the time where they turn around and go back to a city again. I believe they're going back to the city because they're going to live here. That's my opinion. I actually think that WrestleMania will not leave Las Vegas after next year.
And they've made that clear to where even if they do leave to mix it up, to make it a little more sporadic here and there, they want Vegas to be the first place you associate with it. So even if it's an annual thing or not, I think by the time the 2020s are over and we're in the early and we're in the early 2030s, I think we're at the point where we could have multiple Vegas cards, and especially on a 2-night event, we could have like 4, 5, like 6 type of total nights by the time we get to 2030 in Vegas, maybe more. So even I'm with you, even if it's not annual, they want the Association of Vegas to be there, especially given the fact it led to their most successful event in the history of the promotion. And in the wake of the Super Bowl, likely there will be another Super Bowl. We'll probably have a Final Four, a college football we actually will have a Final Four. That's confirmed. We'll likely have a college football national championship. Everybody wants to be in Vegas, and now they're laying their claim.
Yeah, and I think that what they're doing too, and if you look at this from a business standpoint and how they generally operate, you can also see some things. This was set up 100% to be Cena's final match. Will be at WrestleMania next year. I guarantee it.
So you think they're going to stretch it out? Because
Yeah.
initially the idea was for him to basically the calendar year 2025. So you think they could stretch it out?
I think what they'll do
Okay.
is that I actually, if I was
Triple
writing
H?
the script for this, I would end up having Cena lose the belt right before the end of the year, and then have a redemption tour of him coming and fighting back, coming up, culminating to one match where one guy gets to go face off to whoever is the belt holder. Right. Cena wins that, and then he shows up.
Who would you have, and this is me being curious, who would you have taken the belt off of him?
Randy Orton.
There you go. I think that's what a lot of people wanted, but they just, since it already happened like a month or like 3 weeks ago, people thought maybe that book is closed, but it's Randy Orton Cena. They've said the book is closed in the past, and they've opened it back up.
The other guy that they're really trying to work and build on is Reigns, right?
Yeah.
So Roman Reigns would be the other guy in this equation, which they could potentially do something, but because they're so deep in that storyline. Now, the outlier, and Brendan, we definitely want to talk to you about this because you know more about this than I do for sure. But the outlier here is also what they will do with The Rock. Because remember, the Rock was massively missed at WrestleMania not being there this year.
And people are still wondering, people in the media,
Right.
the fans are all wondering, what the hell was that?
Yeah, so could it be that it turns out that maybe someone's taking the belt from him, and then Rock comes and helps, and then Cena gets mad because he's like, if I lose, I lose, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But now he's mad that he didn't lose, so
I'm
therefore, and he
staying
goes,
around.
but now I'm the champion, and I'm holding the championship, and I'm not supposed to. So now it's that. It could be, and I mean,
Right.
Brendan, and I'll pass it to you at this point, but how cool would WrestleMania be if it was Cena, The Rock, one last time?
Ooh.
Well, and I
Once in a
think people are getting a little tired of the nostalgia tour with people like The Rock coming in and holding belts and things like that. So I don't think that's going to happen. But going back to the Vegas thing, I 100% think that WrestleMania is going to set up a residency in Las Vegas. And the reason why is you look at this Saturday, they had 2 events, but the aesthetic of, whatever center Money in the Bank was, and I forget what venue it was, but it was like LA, right?
Into it.
Whatever venue it was empty. It was half empty because everybody hadn't come over from the previous event, the one that they did with AAA. They still had to come over across the street or across town to get to that venue, and it just looked bad. The aesthetic is bad. It looks like an AEW show where half the seats are empty. But when you go to Las Vegas and you see that they packed that arena for 4 straight nights, 4 straight nights, not a seat to be found. When they realize how big that market is and that it's consistently that big, because people will come from out of town on Easter weekend to watch 4 days of wrestling, right? I 100% believe that they saw the paycheck and the continuing paychecks and the return every single time they go back there. It doesn't have to be the hometown crowd. It doesn't have to be live in Atlanta or drivable to Atlanta or whatever. People will drive to Vegas. People will fly to Vegas. People will hop on a cruise ship to get to Vegas because it's Vegas. So 100% I believe that they're setting up residency for their flagship show. They want every seat filled. They want an ass in every seat, and Vegas gives that to them.
And what's so cool about that is that it's a great point, because there's a lot of instances where they could have had their most successful event of all time, right? It's the way they booked the card, the build-up, the market itself, the venue itself. But so much of what they made throughout the week were things that weren't directly related to the 4 or 5 hour show on Saturday and Sunday. We just talked about that on the Game Day Huddle. The logistics, the vicinity of everything. You were in such close proximity. It's the reason why the Super Bowl flourished, and they'll be back. And it's the reason why the WWE flourished and will clearly be back, possibly for years to come. And that's what's so interesting, because, and it's a great point, the Worlds Collide event was a big deal, yet when you have something in the aftermath so close to it, you're not going to be able to carry over the same way. And much like what Brendan is saying, the formula for Vegas is there. It's not like it's just some one-off city that did well because the event was very well executed. You can make the case WrestleMania 41 wasn't even that great in the grand scheme of things if you want to be critical as far as the match quality and the booking. But when you could even take an event like that the critical reception's a little iffy, but the unanimous bottom line when it's all said and done and the return on investment is the best thing that the World Wrestling Entertainment has ever done, not only do they want to come back, they want to come back because it's almost a guarantee sure thing that they could cookie cutter replace or even build on their success because they know Vegas is a place that essentially guarantees success for an event like that.
Like, don't be surprised if Raw is the Monday before and the Monday after.
Right.
Like, don't be surprised if they do that and they try to turn it into a week-long promotion because they saw all these other promotions doing it. And Paul, you've been in Vegas for a long time. You've seen these events come and go. You've seen the NBA All-Star game come in and, the aftermath on that and everything. What did you see from your viewpoint different with WrestleMania from all these other events that came to town?
Well, I think it's that whole thing where, and you touched on that, where you don't have to be like in Atlanta and you're just relying on a hometown crowd or Chicago or anything. And that's the strength of Vegas. Is everyone is willing and wanting to come to Vegas to enjoy themselves. So, and like I said, even if you could do this on Easter weekend, I mean, come on. If it was another weekend, it would have probably even been, I don't know if it could have been busier, but they sold out, 4 nights? And so Vegas has the amenities. Same with the rodeo. We lost the rodeo for a little bit, and then the rodeo had to come back. In the cigar world, we've lost cigar conventions because, somebody offered them a better deal maybe, but then all of a sudden you can't smoke anywhere. And then in Vegas, they set it up so that your event will succeed. So Vegas is just so friendly that you definitely, it makes it so easy for people to just buy a ticket. I mean, get married in Vegas because everybody will come. That's a great destination wedding. Whereas other places, it's tough to get to. But Vegas, it makes it so easy. And say what you will about TSA, I mean, it's so simple. Airports like Las Vegas, because they do it every day so often that it makes it easy to get in, get out. And I've never really had any major problems getting in and out of Vegas. And not to convincing people to come to Vegas.
Right, and not to try to steer the ship here, Steve, but I have a question directly related to all you guys that you may be able to answer. The sports world, the sports entertainment world, clearly has an idea, a blueprint of how they want to accomplish these things in Vegas. I have to ask you, Brandon, whether it be from the convention side, Steve, whether it be for the tour or the car show, we already have, a contingent there as it is. But do you think, I'm not saying San Diego Comic-Con will ever be, replaced or like swap out cities, but do you think eventually that Vegas can be the mecca for that world as well?
Well, I can tell you that the Las Vegas, Visitors Authority has actually gone after San Diego Comic-Con.
Really?
And the number one motivating factor to build the West Halls, right, was specifically to eclipse the amount of space that they were requesting San Diego to get to.
Wow.
Right? With the intentions. And Brendan, I don't know if you have this offhand or not, but I think their deal with San Diego is up in 27 or 28 or something like that.
That's crazy.
It's right around the corner where it's changed. And I think that if you're running Comic-Con, right? And you're like, hey, we have WonderCon in Anaheim, and that's a nice, big, large convention center, and that works well. Look, it's hard to get past how beautiful San Diego is. There is a lot right on top of itself there, but at the end of the day, to look at what WrestleMania did here in Vegas, and you're a pop culture style event like that, I could only imagine what Comic-Con could turn this town into during that time. What were your thoughts on that, Brendan?
Well, the thing is that if you look at the Visitors Bureau, and their perspective, for San Diego, they're going to do whatever it takes to keep Comic-Con in San Diego, because when you try to book a hotel anywhere near San Diego during that weekend, the week before, the week after, the rates are 4 times as much. You have to get into a lottery to get into a hotel. And so that means that all of the businesses are benefiting or whatever. San Diego knows what it's got with Comic-Con, so they will do whatever it takes to keep them there. I don't know that they can compete if Las Vegas really wanted to throw some money at it and really wanted to sweeten the pot. I don't know that San Diego has the revenue that Las Vegas has, but I
They
know
don't
that
have the infrastructure for it.
But as far as branding goes, if you can keep San Diego Comic-Con in San Diego and not have to rebrand it and stuff like that, and they're giving you every single thing that you ask for, I don't know that they're even open for bids from other cities.
No, and that's possible. And I mean, me personally, I love it being down there. It is tough to get in and out of. It just is, because it's right down in that populated downtown area. Doesn't have the arteries like we have here coming in from different channels and different places. You've got, you know, one way in, one way out, two different directions, that's it type thing. It is much tougher to get into, you know, on a multitude of fronts. But with that said, it does set up to be a very, very fun event, because you can go to Comic-Con and not even walk in the building and have things to do, right? You've got the breakouts
here's a little
everywhere.
secret.
Yeah,
New
no,
York
it is.
Comic-Con, when I go for like 5 days, I'm usually on the floor for maybe an hour a day, 90 minutes a day. If I've got interviews set up, I go and do the interviews. You know, I'll get booth photos and stuff like that. But if I don't have to be there, I want to be somewhere else. So I do a lot of the peripheral stuff where, you know, talent will meet me for, you know, for a drink, or they'll meet me for a lunch, or there's other events that are happening all around the city of New York or all around the city of San Diego. I cannot stand being on the floor at San Diego Comic-Con. It is just too many people in too small a space. And all of that peripheral stuff is really what I'm there for. I want the culture. I want to talk to the people. I want to talk to the talent. And we can't even talk on the show floor because it's so loud. I mean, I want to be somewhere else anyway.
So that's probably that's an avenue that you'd probably see a direct improvement just being out here. Whether on the panels themselves, the floor themselves, that may vary. But in terms of what's directly surrounding it, that may be, even if they never were to come to Vegas, that may be the biggest what if, I guess you could say.
No, exactly. And so we'll see what comes of that. Of course, you know, again, big news in the wrestling world today was that announcement that, in fact, you will have WrestleMania coming back in 2026 to Las Vegas. Very exciting news. Very cool for the pop culture community. Good for Las Vegas. Good for sports fans in general. When we come back from break, guys, we are going to delve into the new comic books for the week. And we also have a special interview coming up today. We'll have you stick around. This is Who the Gets Frank.
Around the geek spectrum, in print, on video, and everywhere in between, the show never stops on ComicCon.com.
I was going to say, enough is enough. All right, cool.
You saw that was $4.97.
Was that what it actually was? Jesus Christ.
Are we muted? Yeah, I think we're live still.
Well, there you go. Roman is getting moved up. Roman Anthony.
Which is all right.
Hold on, let me get out of the shot.
Yeah, you're out of here?
Yes, sir.
Quitter.
Yeah, I know, right? He's tapping out.
Later.
You got it, buddy. Great stuff. Aaron, I'm going to send you the description for Spotify right now. All right, you got it, buddy. Thank you. Hold on, let me make sure I'm out. You guys take care. Whenever you're ready.
We'll wait for Brendan to get back because he made a comment about not having enough things.
Yeah,
Paul, really quick, we're gonna
yeah.
because we'll all start. I'll pick it up, but I read part of that, so I saw that they got into it online, but that was it. What actually happened?
So Manny from Sin City Family shot and killed Finney and his wife on the strip last night.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Right. Here, I posted something.
So they were
X.
both had
fountains.
YouTube channels, both of them.
Yes, and they'd been beefing for about a year, but then Manny from Sin City Family brought Finney into the fold, I think. But then he did like a 5-hour stream, I don't know, a few days ago, criticizing Finney and his wife and whatnot. So here's what I wrote. A fatal shooting tonight in front of the Bellagio appears to be the tragic culmination of a year-long feud between the YouTubers Finney the Legend and Sin City Manny. Just 5 days ago, Finney posted a 5-hour video mocking Manny and his wife. This evening, Manny allegedly shot and killed both Finney and his wife on the Las Vegas Strip.
That's dark. That'll bring us down, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty dark. I was interested in the story though, but yeah, I think we would probably deviate away from that for the podcast.
So are we
Right.
skipping segment 2 because you led into comics, so we're not doing Fast and Furious?
Well, no, we are. I just was saying that when we come back, you can always tease your third segment going into your second.
Okay,
Because
that's
then
fine.
you're just teasing on. It's fun. I've done that plenty of times on it. You don't have to always be like exactly next when we come back. So I'll bring us in. We'll do this fan home segment. We'll run this one just a little shorter because we did run longer. We started talking wrestling there. And then we'll get into the comics. And then your video, Aaron doesn't even, you don't have, at the very end, Aaron, I'll do the, we'll go, and then I'll toss it to his interview. When I toss it to his interview, you don't have to play it. We'll just pause and wait. And then quickly when we come back, we'll come back from it, and then we'll literally just be like, man, that was really great insight, blah, 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 blah. Oh, by the way, I got a text from Frank, and then boom. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into this right now. Is the Toyota is being used this segment, right? The video, Brendan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for this segment. And then the other one will be right at the very end. And that will be in between when we end the comic segment and we read Frank's text. So the Toyota video is just video, not audio, right? We're talking over that.
It has audio.
How long is it?
It's a sizzle reel. It's like 14 seconds.
Do you? Okay. Let's. No. We'll play it. We'll come back, reset the top, and then I'll mention Fan Home, and then why don't you, Brendan, then go into what it is from Fan Home, and then call for the video from Aaron.
Okay.
So that way it's smooth. Okay. Cool. All right. You guys ready? Paul, you ready? Okay.
Ready.
5, 4. All right, welcome back to It's Frank here on Go Live Vegas. Of course, you can find us on the YouTube app. Go to One of Us Comics or Go Live Vegas on YouTube. Find us on TikTok with Go Live Vegas, Facebook as well, and we're streaming on Spotify now, so make sure you can get it wherever your content's taken. You can come in and check things out. We want to get into some new product that's coming out today, and I'm pretty excited about this. When I saw this come across my desk, man, this was awesome because we haven't had something like this in this scale the way it is, but your friends at Fan Home, back again, I know you're working on your Fan Home ET back there. They've got a new project that they announced. What is that, Brendan? Let's talk about it.
So they're doing Brian O'Connor's Toyota Supra, and I think this is the car that he had that he wrecked in the first place. He was still an undercover cop. It's a really iconic car in the franchise, and it's one of the ones that people have been calling for. There's a couple more that we want to see done, but this is a really, really iconic one. It's the orange. It's got all the logos and stuff on it. It's screen accurate. We've got a sizzle reel. If Aaron can pull that up real quick.
Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. I'm coming right for you. Get out the way.
Now, the thing that's really cool about these models, so first of all, it's 1/8 scale, which means that it's almost 2 feet long. It's 6 inches tall. I do have an Echo, yeah. But they do really well with the details on this. So you'll notice that it's a faithful replica. It's got the lights with the NOS. The lights turn on. It's got engine noises. You control all that from a remote control. It's got engine and horn sounds, all the electronic functions, detailed interior, including the details right down to the Sparco steering wheel. And it's already painted and ready for assembly. So one of the things, when people look at these things, they go, "Oh man, I'm not a model builder, but that's really cool, dude." I don't know anything about electronics or whatever, but if you look at this ET behind me, there's so many complex little like circuit boards and and things on it, and they make it so ridiculously simple that somebody who's never dealt with anything electronic before can just put the thing together. I've got 4 months left on this guy before he's got all his skin and his finger lights up and his chest lights up and stuff, and I'm super excited for that. But I would never think to go out and buy a model kit and try to hand paint it and do all those things, because I'm just not that coordinated. But these things come, each piece comes already painted, and the fit and finish is fantastic. By the time it's done, this is going to be a real showpiece to have in any collector's shelf.
No, and it's very cool. And then obviously it's the iconic Brian ride from Fast and Furious. It's got a big collector following in base, but to be at the scale size it is, to have all the moving parts, to have that's the type of thing that for this scale of car and collector, that collector's looking for. So I got to say that Fan Home, I think, really, really brought it home this time with like very good attention to detail and what they did on here. I thought the finished product that they've showed in the finished images, what we saw in that video, was done very, very well. And then also, too, with Fast and Furious about to be in an anniversary year, we know that from the Diecast Super Convention, we'll be having a pretty good footprint of Fast and the Furious at the show. We'll have activations built around it. You can expect you'll probably see some cars and, beyond that there that are just specifically because of it. Not even counting what the manufacturers that have Fast and Furious licenses may be doing for the show. So, I mean, this at this point, like, it's the right time. They're doing a great job, but I thought that the scaling size and the accuracy was really, really good on this. So this is one of those items that I would highly encourage people, go out, grab your Fan Home subscription to this product, get this together. This car is going to be incredible. You can see it here. It's amazing how this looks like a real car. Like, it does not look like it is a model. And you can see in the next picture, just to show you in your scaling, what it looks like. This shot right here gives you all the indications. This thing's massive. It's got great details. You can see the hood's open, the door's open, the hatch opens. You've got all the intricate parts in there. Strong details on everything. Multi-piece rims, it looks like. It looks like it's even got some of the brake components. The steering wheel comes off. All of those things. The body kit has to be put on additional. It's like building a real car in that scale size. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun for people. I think they'll have a good time. Now, Paul, you obviously you've watched, and I think you've even lobbied to try to get into a Fast and Furious at some point, right? Like,
yeah, both in the film and literally in the car, trying to fit in. So yeah, I have. For those that weren't listening, what's the scale on this?
It's 1 to 8.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I want to try it. I want to try building it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very strong piece that they have. I think it'll be very good. So, overall, I think this is going to be great. This is honestly the Fan Home concept and what they're doing, I think, is really bringing a new element of how you collect to collectors. And as they build and as they grow as a brand, I think it's only going to get better and better with greater things, or just the awareness of it, because people will start to, they'll start running into situations, hopefully, where people are buying out the run and they can't produce enough stuff or whatever it is, right? Keeping, limited numbers and things like that will always help as well. So I think that that's great. So
now,
again, where can they go, Brendan, to get set up on everything?
I did reach out to them when this one came in, because they've done Dom's Charger. They did Brian's Nissan Skyline, which was when he was still, he was a cop, and it was his first car that he wrecked or whatever. But I'm really just hoping that they do Jesse's 95 Jetta, which is another iconic car from the series. And also Hector's 92 hatchback is one of the most iconic cars in the series. And we still haven't seen that in a lot of, at Las Vegas Toy Con, we saw Hot Wheels is going to make the 164, but I would really love to see that car on the 1/8 scale. So Fan Home, if you're listening, that's the next one we need.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you there, because that Civic is one of the most popular just additions of Civic, period, let alone the fact that the iconic, gold Civic from the movie that's Hector's Ride, obviously, he's out boosting spoon engines. And, it's it's one of those things that, like, if they continue to build this and do this way, but this Brian car, this Supra, this is the car that really is going to move it on the map. The only other car I can really think of from the movies that like really draws the fanfare like this one does is Suki's S2000. Mm-hmm. So, that's another one that probably could be strong out there. Well, guys, we're going to run to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the new comics for the week. And then, Brendan, you have an interview this week coming up, right?
Yeah, Mr. Anyways, Mr. Brian Buccellato was working on Eat Your Young, and he's doing that with Matteo Monaco and Buddy Bedoin. So we had a little chat about kind of a vampire succession story that's a really interesting twist on that genre. So we had a chat with that.
So that'll be coming up right here on Who the F*** is Frank on Go Live Vegas.
As I knock down my whole set.
Okay, so now we're at commercial.
And we're looping still. Every time I talk or anytime
he said
Paul
it's
talks.
Getting a looping echo. You played that video, and as soon as you played the video, the looping started.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan, can you
check,
talk?
check, double check. Yeah, it's there. It's looping. Check, check, double check. It's there.
How about me? Am I still echoing? Yep. Yeah, I hear my phone.
Yeah, it's on this end, Paul, so it's going to echo from the playback. You seem to have frozen, or we just all weren't moving.
Hello? Yeah, still echoing.
Although Paul did figure out the Panera Bread Wi-Fi is better than the Wi-Fi that he was attempting to use from the
world's better
housekeeper who had her hotspot on, apparently, or something. I don't know where he got his internet before.
You'd say he's in witness protection. I believe he's a gigolo.
I think there's a very good chance that Paul's attempt at Wi-Fi there to get Wi-Fi was actually like he went like satellite based. He probably has like a little radar dish that he carries around, puts it in his window, hopes that works.
No, dude, it's a coat hanger covered in wadded up tinfoil.
Oh, no, I figured out what it was. I totally know what it was. He finally used one of those AOL discs. Well done. He's got a drawer full of them at home.
And the thing is about those wadded up tinfoil coat hangers is if you touch it, you get signal, but then when you start walking across the room, so as you're fixing it, you think you got a good signal, but as soon as you walk away, because the electricity of your body is
Holy fuck. Whoa. Holy fuck. What was that, Aaron?
Wow.
He's just playing around there to try to figure out what the hell the problem is.
Hello?
I can hear you.
It's still there.
It's faint, but I can hear you.
It's faint. Do I need to get closer to my microphone?
Yeah.
Is this better? It's still echoing.
Hello?
Yep. There it is.
Is it looping?
It's looping.
He's hearing a loop. He's got it direct in his ear, so.
What?
He's listening to the output. Says that he doesn't hear the echo.
He doesn't hear it in the output, so it's just going to bug. So I should just take my monitor out so that I can get through the comics. And
he's hearing, like he's got the live feed that he's running right now. Go ahead and talk.
Check, double check. Hello?
Yeah, I don't hear the echo on the final output there.
Hey, Paul, you've got it though, right?
Do you have the echo, Paul?
Yeah. I hear Brendan echoing and I hear myself echoing.
So it's in the green room?
And I had my mic off. And I put
Is it gone?
Check. No, still there. Oh, wait. It's gone.
It's gone.
No, shit, it's not gone.
It's not gone.
Now it's gone. Okay, yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. Okay, let's go.
Hello.
I got to set up the top of the third segment, so it's just like we're coming back from commercial in the third segment. What's that?
Dude, if it gets uploaded,
Not
with all
yet.
This extra
We're not
stuff
there
on
yet. The interview doesn't play till after. We do the comics, then we'll throw to the video. Then the video plays, but we're not going to play it. Then we'll do the outro, and then you'll plug the video in between. Okay. You guys ready?
Ready, Freddy.
Okay. We can get through this one today, guys. We can do this. All right, here we go. So I'm moving the interview from the top of the third segment to the end of the third segment, Brendan. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, here we go. Countdown, 5, 4. All right, we are back. Welcome to Who the is Frank here on Go Live Vegas and on the One of Us Comics YouTube channel. Make sure if you are following us on Spotify that you check in each and every week and catch a new episode as we talk about all your favorite stuff here in the pop culture realm. And every week we talk about the new comics coming out for the week. Few issues coming out this week that we really wanted to focus on. And Brendan, we'll let you go ahead and take that away.
All right, the first one, you guys talk about Marvel Rivals a lot. So when Marvel Rivals Unite hit the stands for this week, I figured we had to bring it up. It's an anthology of stories inspired by the video game. And it says, Marvel Rivals tracks. It's got to be tracks. Marvel Rivals tracks our heroes back in time and to Japan for all new adventures. Hot off the debut of Marvel Rivals, Peach Momoko designed a wave of costumes bringing the Marvel heroes to Japan. First, Sai takes on the symbiotic chaos of Venom. Yuji Kaku brings Frank Castle, the unbeatable Punisher, face-to-face with Penny Parker. Where Penny is, Spider is not far behind. Plus, K-pop star Luna Snow is brought to the depths of Hell, Asgard, and right into the hands of Hela. So this is obviously piggybacking on the popularity of the game, and that is not the cover. It's Marvel Rivals Unite, not Marvel United Pride. That's the last one we're doing today.
Oh, yeah, this is not the correct cover. That's what he said was given to him.
No, it's not. That's got the number on it for number 7.
No, number 7.
Marvel United Pride. Number 1 is Marvel Rivals Unite. It says 1 right in the download.
Number 7 is the same.
It said number 1 and number 7 are the same that you sent over.
I don't believe I did. But let me check.
Can you look up Marvel United number 1? Because I was like looking at this going, that's not Peach Momoko, but okay.
Yeah, it's not Peach Momoko. Are we going to take another run at this?
Good God, I'm glad we're pre-recorded.
Jesus.
We did. We emphasized. Let me see. I think that's it. Throw that on the screen. I think that's it. That's it. And that is definitely Peach Momoko. Well, you can read that solicit again and not be like Racks, Ricks, Rock, Tracks.
The copy that they sent over is lame.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna head in.
Let's set it back up again. Aaron, this is where you're gonna start at the top of this segment, and we're gonna get through it. You ready? We can do this. Okay, guys, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. And welcome back here on Go Live Vegas to Who is Frank. Of course, we are here both on the One of Us Comics YouTube channel as well as Go Live Vegas on TikTok, Facebook, and we are now on Spotify, so make sure you're checking us out wherever you get your streaming content from. And we're back this segment to talk about the new comics coming out for the week. Brendan, you have the new comics. What is new in this week of comics coming out Wednesday?
First up, we've got Marvel Rivals Unite number 1. This is obviously piggybacking on the popularity of the video game. It's an anthology of stories inspired by the video game. Marvel Rivals tracks our heroes back in time and to Japan for all new adventures. Hot off the debut of Marvel Rivals, Peach Momoko designed a wave of costumes bringing the Marvel heroes to Japan. First, Sai takes the symbiotic chaos of Venom. Yuji Kaku brings Frank Castle, the unbeatable Punisher, face-to-face with Penny Parker. Where Penny is, Spider isn't far behind, or is it SPDR? I don't even know it. Plus, K-pop star Luna Snow is brought to the depths of Hell, Asgard, and right into the hands of Hela. Is it Spider? Do you say Spider, or is it SPDR?
SPDR.
Okay, so SPDR. isn't far behind. But yeah, so this obviously is piggybacking the popularity of the game, which is a very smart thing to do. The game is super hot right now. I don't blame them whatsoever for pulling this one out.
Yeah, and again, you hit everything on the head. Marvel's Rivals, big. They've had good success with the crossover covers that they've done, the books that are going in and touching base on the video games and so on. So, yeah, this is one. This shouldn't stick around too long. Probably going to be gone fairly quickly. And I'm pausing right here because I'm looking at this cover right now, Brendan, and this also says a Pride special.
It's the wrong cover again. Oh my gosh.
You've got to be fathering my mother right now.
Don't worry about it. I can edit the right one.
Okay, he's gonna edit the right one, so I'm gonna break us from this. Okay, Aaron, I'm gonna give you Gap. We'll get it after. You can get it from Brendan. Will get you the exact cover it should be right after, and then you can edit it in. Okay.
What people don't know at home is that this is going to be the bloopers reel that we're going to use.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up.
Take a week off.
I'm going to pick up right there from what I was talking about. You can use all that audio. So yeah, this is definitely one of those covers that people are going to want to pick up. I think it'll sell well. I don't think it'll have a problem. Next up is Batman and Robin, Jason Todd.
Except you got it backwards, and that's one of the things that's special about this one. So it's Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, #1. It's the first appearance of the Wraith. But the thing that I think is more important about this is that it's a dynamic duo story, but it's titled and told from the other perspective, the one you're not used to having be centered in a dynamic duo story. It's Batman and Robin, but it's Robin and Batman. So Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen returned to spotlight the early days of a very different dynamic duo with a very different dynamic. Batman has a new Robin, a rash, impulsive, reckless kid with a troubled past, who Batman was certain he could mold into Gotham's next crime fighter. But can the Dark Knight save Jason Todd from the darkness within himself? And when a mysterious new villain sets his sight on Jason, Batman finds himself doubtful that even he has what it takes to train the anger and torment out of a very new young ward.
Now, Paul, this seems like something that would be right up your alley, right? Because you've been cast in the shadows as Robin for so long, and now you've got a spot to stand.
And I would go with the name Todd Jason myself. So instead of Jason Todd, I think that's what it says.
Of course you would. Next up this week, we've got a new book in the line from Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, we're jumping. Okay.
Well, we are jumping because Aaron's over here flipping through pictures. And what you guys don't see on my screen is that I have the pictures up here. He had, I think he had a field with flowers and a graveyard in it, which is not even part of what we were doing. He's just bouncing around. And so I can't set up my cadence and timing because Aaron takes away what we were supposed to go to. So I'm going, well,
All right, so
Aaron's
this is
effing
slide
up. I got to
number
fix
4.
this. So now,
Slide number 4 is Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man. It's
crap.
a first appearance of Rapid. Kid Venom debuts.
Hold on,
in the
we're
Marvel
not
Universe.
going there, Aaron. Oh my god! All right, we come out of Paul laughing. Okay, we're coming out of Paul laughing. Ready and 5, Aaron. I'm counting it down so you know where your cuts are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course you would, Paul. I could see that. Now, next up this week is a new book in the line of Phoenix.
Yes, sir. So this is Phoenix number 12, and this one is an origin story of Sarah Gray. Protecting the cosmos as Phoenix, Jean Grey has experienced near limitless mystery and wonder, a universe of perpetual possibility. But nothing so magnificently unexpected as this. Her sister Sarah Gray has returned to life. Murdered by the Phalanx many years ago, another in a long line of Greys to lose their lives in untimely, violent ways, Sarah nonetheless stands before Jean alive and well. But when? Why? How? All of these questions are worth asking, and Jean Grey probably should. Needless to say, this would be a very different story if she did. Who wrote this copy? That makes no damn sense. But anyway, it's the origin story of Sarah Gray. Sarah Gray is back. We're going to find out what happened to her. She's dead, but she's alive. But what, why, and how? Those are the questions. And apparently they should get answered, but maybe not because copy is weird.
Well, we'll find out how this turns out, but it is interesting. Whenever you have a character return, whether it's from death or from exile or whatever it is, it always seems to come back where that character has a chip on her shoulder or his shoulder, and in this case hers, And I'm guessing that if the Phoenix is what kills her, it's probably going to be a conflict between Sister and whether Sister's entity or Sister is actually Sister. So we'll see what happens there. But the Phoenix line, it's doing very well. It's one of those books that does, generally seem to sell very, very well in the store. So I think that this cover will have no problem selling. I do like this cover. I think it's very vibrant, very cool. It's got the Phoenix logo down on the bottom, which is cool. And it's got a lot of great space if you're going to get any type of artwork done on it or autographs or whatever it might be. So definitely a cool book for that. Next up is something giant-sized.
This is Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man #1. So the concept of this, they're doing 5 one-shots where they pop Kamala Khan into classic X-Men stories. So this one's got the first appearance of Rapid. Kin Venom is debuting in the mainstream Marvel universe, but Kevin Smith is writing this. He makes his triumphant return to Marvel with a Spider-Man story that'll have your heart beating in overdrive and your sides hurting from how much you'll be laughing. As if that wasn't enough, Al Ewing and Buckingham spin a decade adventure with Spider-Man and some of his best friends. And if that weren't enough, Chip Zdarsky and Cafu introduce a brand new character who will play a big role in the future of Marvel Comics.
So I'm guessing that Oprah wrote this solicit because just wait, there's more. Just wait, there's more. Just
you get a comic, and you get a comic, and you get a comic.
If this isn't good enough, this will be. And if this isn't good enough, don't worry. We've got something else for you.
Now, there's a variant on this one, and it's the Lee Bermejo variant, and I had that one queued up because as we were talking about amazing Superman covers the other day, this is one of the best Spider-Man covers I've seen in a minute.
Right, and so we'll get that cover pulled up here in just a few minutes when Aaron, the producer, decides that he wants to go ahead and put it up. There we go. So this is cool. This is a great cover. I always love when you get that close-up perspectives. I think that this is very Spider-Man-esque. Maybe some webbing coming off is missing, but I don't know that you need it necessarily. Definitely.
No, this is like the in-between. So he's finished his arc of the swing, and he's flying to his next anchor point. So he's dropped the web, and he's about to shoot to the next anchor point so he can do the next arc. This is a perfect action shot. And you know that this wasn't done by Liefeld because I can see the tread on the bottom of this dude's shoe, and that foot that you can see the whole of, like the anatomy is all there. I love this cover so much.
And that moment where Brendan takes a shot at Liefeld. Now, it's pretty funny. Great cover, though. This one should sell very quick. I don't see this being a problem. We do have one more cover as well, and this is the Giant Size Dark Phoenix saga.
Right.
Which is really cool.
This is another one of those one-shots where they're dropping Kamala Khan into classic X-Men stories. So Kamala Khan is locked in a battle in time against an unstable and unleashed legion, and she's gone from the frying pan into the Phoenix fire. As the history we know is destroyed in front of her eyes, the new mutant must team up with Jean Grey in her darkest hour and master her dangerous new mutant power.
And these seem to be doing very well. As we mentioned on the Spider-Man, I think people are picking these up. They do like the fact that they're all kind of an inclusive, book. Makes it pretty easy to read, get the finality out of it, see where it is in the storyline. A lot of times that arcs in. Now, staying consistent, because we had a lot of number ones. It seems like every week we have a ton of number ones. We do have some. And it is Pride Month. So it's only on brand for Marvel to do something with Pride, and they have Marvel United #1, a Pride special.
Right, and so this one, it's Marvel's kick on Pride Month anthologies. Marvel heroes unite against fear and hate-mongering. Visionary Marvel creators and bright rising stars deliver an action-packed anthology to take a real look at the world outside your window. And they've got some real superstars working on this one. They've got Al Ewing and Aaron Fisher and Anthony Oliveira. But basically, this is what DC was doing last week. Every year they come out with these. They're good stories. It's a good anthology, and they're really just trying to get the awareness and the representation in there at least once a year. So this is their offering for this year.
And I think it's good that they do stuff like this. I think it's important whenever it's culture. And it doesn't matter whether it's Pride culture or if it's ethnic culture or whatever it is. I do like when they do celebration, books and things for a community, because it also does at least give something to that reader, an opportunity to have something that's more, based towards them. Paul, I know you had something you wanted to mention there.
I wanted to ask about the giant size ones, not to go back too far, but Again, price-wise, since they're bigger, more paper, and literally how much bigger than a regular comic book are they? And then how much more can you expect to pay for a giant-sized comic book, if I may ask?
So usually the giant size books generally are double in size, and price point usually moves. Like if they're like $5.99, they go to like $7.99. So it's not really like a full like, you know, $5 jump, a double in price. It's not necessarily that. That's been pretty standard for Marvel so far when they've done the larger books, that they've kind of jumped, you know, $2 it seems like is kind of the number that they, you know, and I think they're finding out what consumers comfortable with spending and all of that, because when they go to do these double books, it doesn't cost them double to produce it because they're already pressed on the run. They're just running more pages. Mm-hmm. So it's literally just the cost of printing on those pages, stapling, and they're off and running.
And this might be a silly question. Is it physically larger, or is it just more pages in the comic books?
It's thicker.
Are just thicker books. So different publishers do different things. So sometimes you'll see like a really cool comic like Something's Killing the Children or Harrow County, where the artwork is so fantastic that they will do what they call like a prestige version, where they make the page 4 inches wider and 5 inches taller or something like that, so you can really get into the artwork. But what this is referring to is, because it's an anthology, because it's a double size, they're really just giving you twice the content for stories in there, twice as many pages.
Yeah, and these books, they do well. Again, people really like when there's, you know, good meat in there to get into the storyline. There's a little bit more information. These always have a tendency to do really well with the readers, right? On the collectible side, it's less collectors for it, but at the same time, when you do cool covers like you saw the Spider-Man cover, those will get picked up by the collectors. So maybe the collector isn't so big on the A cover as much as he might be on a variant cover because of what it looks like. Now, Brendan, you've spent some time this week interviewing Brian Buccellato, right?
Yes, sir. So Brian Buccellato did a run on Flash. He's written Detective Comics. He's well known for Chicken Devil. He worked on Injustice, Gods Among Us. He got back together with Matteo Monaco and Buddy Bedoin, and they did Eat Your Young. FOC is coming up at the end of July for this book, so we wanted to talk about it. FOC, like we've talked about before, it's the last chance that your local shop has to order the book, so we wanted to get some word out about it and talk a little bit about it. It's a really interesting concept about succession in like a vampire dynasty, which is an interesting concept. It's an interesting take on dynasties. It's an interesting take on vampire lore and stuff like that. So we had a chance to talk about that, and we've got that video coming up right now.
Well, in vampires, always popular and always good. So let's take a look at that interview. Here is Brendan Allen, senior editor of ComicCon.com, interviewing Brian Buccellato. Eat Your Young. So that's where you play the video. Okay. Yeah. So right when we come back from this, Brendan, I'm just gonna I'll reference something about, hey, that was a really great interview, da, 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 and then you can just give a little like closure to it, like how you felt after the interview.
Sure.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that was great, man. It's awesome to see what he's got going on, what they're putting together over there, and you got some really, really cool stuff coming from that. Now that you've had a chance to kind of unpack that interview in your mind, like, what are some of the things that really stand out to you, Brendan?
Well, I think that one of the things that, you know, the longevity of vampires allows you is to really kind of take some people from different periods and characters. So, you know, he's got a gangster, and he's got, you know, just all these different different tropes that he's able to bring in from different eras, because this event happens once every 100 years. So the most interesting parts of the last 100 years, he's able to bring characters in from that to be part of his story. And that only happens when you have something where there's either a time jump, which gets awkward, or these people just live for a really long time. So having the immortality at stake, only one of them gets to live forever, and all the rest of them lose their immortality to challenge for the crown. I think it's a really interesting take, and I've actually been able to read the first issue now, and it's really good. I'm excited for the whole series.
Well, and, you know, with that, Paul was just very disappointed in the fact that you did not in any way, form, or fashion in that lobby for his cameo.
It's not too late. I don't think they've drawn issue number 4 yet. I think they're about 3 issues ahead for production. So I can send a picture and see what they say.
I mean, you never
perfect. Hamster man, whatever. I'm ready.
hamster man.
Hamster man, a hedgehog.
Are we back to talking about Hedgehog Show? 'Cause
He
that's
could be
been a
back
minute.
talking about hedgehogs. We have laid off a few weeks of discussion of that, so it might be time. Although he still has PTSD from Howie Mandel, so it's going to be tough for.
But Vados Tacos, the Taco Man, whatever. I'm here. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Yes. Well, guys, Frank sent a text, and this is what he had to say today. June is here and the sun is high. And just like that summer glow, you radiate energy, purpose, and drive. You're not just riding the wave, you're making it. And as others slow down, you're refueling. Take a quick pause, even just a weekend, escape to Disney World, recharge, laugh a little, feel the magic in the air. Let that joy refuel your soul like a full tank of premium gas. Because when you get back, it's grind time. No idle, no neutral. You're shifting into overdrive. Your vision is clear, your circle is strong, and your momentum, unstoppable. This summer isn't just about heat. It's all about fire. Light it up. Let's go build, grow, and get it.
Wait, who the fuck is Frank?
Wave, everybody wave. All right, good show. Yay.
All right, cool. We're done. Guys, that was not a grind. Not at all.
Great show, guys.
Was not a grind. It was
Ooh,
rough.
that was brute.
Was. But we got through it. We'll get
I'm
a
kinda
segment.
glad that Dave Faustino flaked on us for a week because
Yeah.
Well, we could have figured the audio knocked his interview and then been fine because it would have been confined to one segment. Although we did talk about keeping him on for 2, right? But wow.
Yeah. He was busy anyways with his. I guess apparently he's been working with cricket for 15 years. That's his bread and butter. So
that's one of the things that came up a lot is that
yeah.
he's been working since the show ended. People don't realize that just because his show ended, he's been producing and writing and directing and voicing over all kinds of stuff. If you look up his voiceover roles, there's a ton of them.
Yes.
So he's very much made a business out of just being and knowing and being around.
Just being able to talk and execute.
Yeah.
That by
100%.
itself is valuable. And if you can talk and execute and people can't figure out how you talk and execute, you become very valuable.
I gotta figure that out.
I know, right? Me too. As soon as you do, Paul, let me know, all right?
I will.
Fill me in.
100%.
Paul, have fun in Chicago. You want to meet my friend Anthony? You can. He lives
Who's
there.
Anthony? Yeah.
That's from, he's with a company called Breaks and Takes. They do sports card breaks.
Oh yeah.
They
of
have
course.
their company and studio out there. He's on, is it North Side is where the White Sox are at, right?
No, that's the Cubs are North Side, Sox are South Side.
So he's South Side. So yeah,
South
so
Side.
he's South Side.
Yeah.
He's in what's it called down there? Oh my gosh, I'll think about it after I leave.
Great. Yeah. And make the connection, and
Yeah, how long are you in town
I-
for?
I might stick around for another week or two because my mom actually did have surgery, so
Okay.
we're moving her into a rehab facility, or like some kind of recovery. Right now she's in the hospital, so I'm at Park Ridge at Lutheran Hospital, and just to spend time with her. My brother kind of
Where are you staying?
do shifts, either at our condo in the Gold Coast in Chicago, or at her home in South Elgin, which is like a townhouse
Okay.
in South Elgin, which I think we might end up starting to remodel since she's in the hospital anyways.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm either in Chicago or in the suburbs.